Mr. President, distinguished delegates, brothers and sisters from every corner of the globe, I ask you to stop. Stop your routines. Stop the polite listening that fills these halls, and hear me with the urgency this moment demands. What I bring today is not another carefully worded speech about cooperation and development. This is a declaration, a call to liberation, a message forged in fire, sharpened by struggle and carried here by a man who has stared empire in the face and refused to bow. I stand before you as Ibrahim Traore, President of Burkina Faso. But do not mistake me for a man speaking only for his nation. My voice carries the weight of an entire continent that refuses to die quietly, that refuses to forget who it truly is. I speak for a people whose ancestors endured the unendurable and still left behind wisdom, songs, and strength. I speak for a continent rising again and for a diaspora whose bloodlines pulse with the same unbreakable fire. I have seen governments fall. I have watched oppression manufactured and exported like a commodity. I have witnessed ordinary men and women, once dismissed as powerless, rise into unstoppable forces of change. And today I am not speaking only to Africa. I speak to you in the diaspora, in the Caribbean, in the Americas, in Europe. I speak to every Black child who has ever wondered why their history feels stolen, why their value feels questioned, why their dreams feel confined. Ask yourself, what if the version of history you were taught, your supposed limitations, your place in the world, was never truth at all? What if it was design, a construction deliberately crafted to keep you on your knees while others fed on the fruit of your genius? I do not speak to you as an outsider. I speak as family. I recognize the fire in your eyes, the same fire I see in Africans who finally say enough. It is the same fire that burns in me, that refuses to be smothered by centuries of humiliation. You may ask, what gives me the right to speak so boldly? I will tell you. I have seen their meetings, their strategies, their secret rooms. I have watched them treat whole populations like pieces on a chessboard. I have seen them ignite wars, topple leaders, strangle economies, all while smiling before cameras and preaching democracy. And yet, I have seen something they fear far more than sanctions or weapons. They fear what happens when people told they are nothing suddenly remember they are everything. Our pain takes many forms. In your streets, it is police brutality. In our villages, it is resource theft. In your classrooms, it is educational apartheid. In our economies, it is the stranglehold of colonization disguised as policy. But make no mistake, all of it flows from the same poison source, a system designed not only to break our bodies, but to erase our memory and sever our bonds. And yet, here we are, still creating, still resisting, still breathing. That persistence terrifies them. Their greatest weapon was never the gun or the chain. Their greatest weapon was division, convincing us we are separate, unconnected, powerless unless validated by them. But hear me clearly, we are not beggars. We never were. We are the descendants of builders whose monuments still stand while empires crumble. We are the children of warriors who reshaped continents. We are thinkers and philosophers whose ideas shaped civilization long before Europe learned to read. We are scientists, inventors, healers, and leaders whose brilliance was stolen, renamed, and claimed as someone else's. Our history is not a footnote. It is the foundation of world civilization. We are the people who gave birth to the very idea of civilization itself. We have seen you resist in America, from Selma to Ferguson. We have seen you rise in London, Sao Paulo, Kingston, Lagos. When education was denied, you built your own schools. When businesses locked you out, you created your own. When churches barred your worship, you built sanctuaries. When communities were broken, you formed bonds stronger than steel. Out of pain, you created jazz. Out of limitation, you created blues. Out of exclusion, you created hip-hop. Out of every wound, you birthed movements that shook nations. But understand this, oppression has evolved. The chains are no longer on your wrists. They are in your minds. Where they once burned crosses, they now program algorithms. Where they once enforced segregation by law, they now entrench it with economics. Where they once whipped bodies, They now manipulate attention, feed stereotypes, and rewrite history through their media. Their weapon is deception, their strategy is distraction, their goal is confusion, and their greatest fear is unity. They fear the moment Black voices in America link hands with family in Africa, with Jamaica, with Brazil, with Europe. They know that divided we can be controlled, but united we are unstoppable. You are not merely citizens of nations with dark skin. You are sons and daughters of Africa, heirs to civilizations that thrived while others still struggled with fire. The blood in your veins carries the memory of empires, the strategies of warriors, the creativity of builders. Do not let them reduce you to statistics or stereotypes. You were not born to survive systems built against you. You were born to transform them. Africa is not waiting to be rescued. That story was fabricated to justify theft. We are rising, economically, culturally, politically, but we do not rise alone. Our struggle and yours are the same. This is not about charity, it is about family. There is land here, fertile and waiting. There is work here, meaningful and wealth building. There is healing here, healing from wounds carved into DNA. Do not come as tourists or saviors. Come as family, as builders, as co-heirs of a legacy that is unfinished. The empire that enslaved us is cracking. Old alliances are weakening. Economic systems once thought permanent now crumble. In this transition, those who know their history and their power must lead. We will not beg for seats at tables that reject us. We will build our own. Across centuries, our oppression has always been one system. From Georgia's cotton fields to Sierra Leone's diamond mines, from South Africa's gold shafts to Chicago's streets, our labor built their wealth. Slavery was never only about labor, it was about identity destruction. Colonialism was not only about resources, it was about dependency. Segregation was not only about separation, it was about embedding inferiority. Today, their finance, their media, their policies continue the same work. But we are more than their categories. We are heirs, builders, and authors of futures. Despite 4 centuries of the most sophisticated oppression in history, we are still here. We are still creating, rising, and refusing to vanish. Our ancestors endured the Middle Passage and still carried songs. They endured plantations and still birthed new languages and music. They endured Jim Crow and still built schools, churches, businesses. They endured mass incarceration and still raised movements. They did not just survive, they transformed. They created beauty out of ugliness, wisdom out of violence, and solidarity out of division. But survival is no longer enough. We must build new systems that serve us. Our strength is intellectual, cultural, economic, political, but our greatest strength is collective. We are one people scattered by force but bound by destiny, and our enemies know this. That is why they spend so much to keep us apart. But we must remember, we are not scattered seeds. We are roots of one tree. We are not victims. We are defined by our refusal to be broken. Long before their systems, we built civilizations, governed with law, healed bodies, traded across continents. That wisdom still lives in us. No one is coming to save us. Not governments, not philanthropists, not international organizations. The saviors we have been waiting for are ourselves, united, strategic, relentless. We must teach our children truth, control our resources, tell our own stories, build justice systems that deliver justice, create schools that build leaders, not servants, develop healthcare that heals body and spirit, refuse symbols of progress while domination remains intact. The world must see Black power unapologetic, self-determined, unstoppable. Our ancestors dreamed not only of freedom from chains, but of freedom to shape our destiny. That dream is now ours to complete. Every time Black people unite across continents, global powers panic. They did it to Garvey, to Lumumba, to Malcolm, to the Panthers, to every leader who dared connect Africa to its diaspora. They know what we sometimes forget, that united, we are the storm no power can withstand. The time is not tomorrow. The time is not when conditions improve. The time is now.